Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It's time!
tonight's main event is scheduled for one 30-minute interview. Interviewing out of the blue corner, the Coffee N KOs crew. Being interviewed out of the red corner, Dawson.
Hey Grant, how's it going? Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks guys for having me. I appreciate it.
So before we get started into the content, I gotta ask, are you a coffee guy?
Yeah, I would say so. I drink more when I'm in camp because it helps with my appetite and my energy levels. But yeah, I enjoy coffee.
Is it like so a lot of fighters, they get like these fancy brands and they're sponsored and all this stuff because there's so many different brands and things out there. Is it like a organic type thing? Like, is it like something you're sponsored by? Or are you just going like the old like coffee house type coffee? Like how's it? What are you drinking?
I go to this place. It's called perhaps you've heard of it, Starbucks. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, I get a black coffee with some sweetener in it. That's about the extent that I have. All the drinks that I really like on there are all really girly drinks. So I have to order them when I have my girlfriend with me and pretend like she's the one getting them. It'll be like a caramel ribbon crunch is like my favorite. And I'll be like, oh yeah, she wants a caramel ribbon crunch. She'll be like, what are you talking about? Like, shut up, babe. You're on my side.
Yeah, that's okay. I've actually learned as I've gotten older, like, so, college, you do the party thing, you drink, and it's like the whole time you're drinking, you're like, this tastes like shit. And then you realize like down the road, you're like, wow, there's so many good drinks out there that taste really good and can get the job done, but you're almost embarrassed to drink them. And now that I'm older and I have kids, it's like, okay, well, I can drink these girl drinks now. It tastes good and it's going to do the same thing. And it's totally acceptable now. That's why guys are drinking seltzers. Like every guy drinks a seltzer now. So I don't like, I can relate, but I do drink my coffee black. I like black coffee.
Yeah, I like the sugary ice cream type coffees. But if I do a black one, I guess I put cream in it too. I'll do cream and sweetener as my go-to when I'm in camp.
It's got to be sweet. Got to be sweet to get it down.
Oh, sweet. That's my go-to.
So, dude, do you have a nickname? No nickname?
He's got a nickname.
I do have a nickname.
I missed the nickname.
KGD, right?
Yeah.
KGD.
And that's just, I'm assuming, take us through that. Obviously, well, GD, your initials.
So I originally, like, my whole theory was it's King Grant Dawson. And the issue is everybody and their, King is the same as Pitbull. Everybody's got the name. And so I wanted to kind of make it a little bit different. And my three favorite MMA fighters all have initials as their nicknames. RDA, JDS, and GSP, So I just thought, why don't we just take the first letters of each and try that? And I like the sound of it. It's been that for like 2 or 3 years now. And if somebody else doesn't like it, they can get fucked.
Have you ever seen the movie? I think it's Rounders, but it's like they deal with like is it KGB? It's like honestly like a Russian mob, and every time I hear
Yeah.
KGD, I think of that, and it kind of messes me up. So no relation there.
No, and actually, there's another fighter. Her name is Andrea Lee, and her nickname is KGB. And so I didn't realize that until I came up with it. And then I was like, well, as long as I don't fight her, I think we'll be okay.
I don't think you have to worry about that unless something really terribly wrong goes in the UFC.
Listen, we're how many days into 2021?
Yeah,
and
you better be careful. Those are big words. Those are big words.
You never know.
Very true. I don't know. It's like you said, it's only been 7 days, and I'm ready to get off the roller coaster. So at only 26 years old, 4 fights into the UFC, and 17 fights on your resume, would you still consider yourself a prospect, or do you feel like your experience is really greater than that?
Man, I don't know what that means. I don't know what prospect and because I go out there and I beat, the next guy. Am I still a prospect, or how many fights are you not a prospect anymore? How many fights are you a veteran? I just go by skill level. Fighter A versus fighter B. How do I match up against this guy? And I think I'm better than all of them. So it doesn't matter to me. Call me a prospect, veteran, whatever you want to say, because nowadays it really doesn't even matter with your age, right? Like these young kids are doing it. Are you going to call a kid that's been training when he was 4 a prospect? Like, no, he's been training his whole life. That's not a prospect. That's a veteran right there, And it really just comes down to who you fought, I feel like, and that's what I'm looking for, is the bigger names to get that under my belt.
Yeah, I feel like, so we actually did like a potential breakout stars of 2021 episode, and I feel like we honestly maybe owe you an apology for not putting you in there as a potential breakout star, because you are now 4-0 in the UFC, and like how did your 2020 go? Like did you put like a 1 to 10? Is that like a 10 for you? Like what do you want to do next?
Man, I wish I could have fought more. But with the whole pandemic thing, that whole annoying thing, it is what it is. I got what I could in. I feel like if I had been able to fit one more in there, I probably would have had some more steam on my name. This Khamzat Chimaev guy, he's getting a lot of credit, and he definitely deserves it. However, like, I really don't feel like he's done anything that I haven't done. Everybody that he's beat is on a 2-fight losing streak or not in the UFC anymore. I've beaten guys, Ultimate Fighter winners, veterans, you name it. Everybody that I have beat, other than Nad Narimani, is now coming off of a win. Everybody that he's beat is coming off of a loss or cut from the UFC. So, to see him, he's got all these followers, he's getting all this money, he's getting all this praise, and he just really hasn't done anything, extraordinary. It's kind of, and it's really good timing because he's Russian and Khabib has just retired and they're calling him the new Khabib, and he wants to fight at 2 weight classes, which is really cool. I'm happy for the guy, but I do feel like I'm getting a little overlooked when it comes to these up and comers, or whatever it is you want to call it.
What do you think you have to do? Like, what do you think the difference is between you two that would have to like put you over the top?
I'm not Russian. I'm your straight white male from Nebraska. So I don't blame him. I don't have a funny accent. I don't say camo shorts. So it is what it is. I think it's going to come down to what it came down to, back in the day. It's just winning fights. We're hoping to have a fight here pretty soon. I think I know who it is, and I'm gonna beat his ass, and that's gonna give me the recognition. I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way. I'm gonna beat everybody they put in front of me until I have that belt wrapped around my waist. And if people want to jump on the bandwagon sooner than later, that's cool too.
I definitely think we're going to jump on the bandwagon. That's the stuff that gets me hyped up, and that's the stuff that I like to hear when they come on the Coffee N KOs podcast.
Seems like a pretty solid approach.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way I feel like that's the way that you have to. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there are guys that, like Conor McGregor, he changed the game by the way that he can talk shit, but not everyone is built that way. Like, I know that if I was a fighter, my skill set would not be on the microphone. I know that we're doing a podcast here, but I'm not good at talking shit about other people. So I would not be able to sell fights in that way. So I would almost have to take the Grant Dawson approach and just fight them.
Open a can of Twisted Tea.
Well, you also have to remember, though, like, when it all comes down to it, Conor McGregor is Conor McGregor, not just because of what he says, because of how he backs it up. There's another fighter, his name's Chase Hooper, and he's got a lot of fans and he makes a lot of money. And the dude really can't fight that well. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. That dude's not going to be able to spell his name by the time he's 14. Like, he gets beat up in every single fight and he's so tough. He comes back and he wins. And it's just too soon for him. It's too soon for him. He's got a really cool gimmick of that, he looks like he's 12 and he wants to eat a bunch of M&Ms or whatever it is. And that's really cool. But when it comes down to it, it's about winning fights in impressive manner and not taking a bunch of damage. That dude is going to have brain damage by the time he's 22.
I think we can say we're an anti-Chase Hooper podcast just based off of, we're big Slippery Pete fans. So in his last fight, Slippery Pete's winning that fight going into round 3. And then he just ends up landing that submission pretty much out of nowhere. And it's like, well, you were losing most of the fight. So how much stock do you put into that?
But that's every fight. Every fight that he has had, whether it's on the Contender Series or
Alex Caceres.
in the UFC. Alex Caceres whooped his ass just by being smart. The guy that he beat, I'm blanking on his name. He's a short dude. He's got a brother in the UFC as well. The guy that he fought for his debut literally knocked him out like twice. And then he got caught in I think it was a rear naked or something like that. Like this kid is, what is he, 19? Is that how old he is? Or 20?
I think he's 20 or 21 now, but he did make his debut at like 19, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say he's 20. In 2 years, if his fight career keeps going like it's going, and you got to think he's only going to fight tougher guys, he's going to have brain damage. And that's not a funny thing. And that's not me talking shit. That kid cannot fight. It was too soon for him. He got onto the Contender Series. He had his cool gimmick, but we've seen this in the past. We saw it with Sage Northcutt. He was the young, super young guy, got in the UFC at like 19, and look where he's at now. He's fighting for ONE FC and he's getting his eyeballs knocked out of his head. It's too soon for these kids.
I remember when we had Derek Minner on, he called out Chase. Well, he didn't call him out, but he said, give me Chase Hooper, give me all these young guys. He's like, I will destroy all of them, which hyped me up. But also, he made a good point. He said that he feels like he entered the UFC at the perfect time, being at, close to 30 or 30. He felt like had he got there sooner, it would have been way too soon. And so I think that what you're saying and what he said, it kind of puts it all in perspective. I 100% agree with you. And every way that Chase Hooper has won has been ugly. And like, how far is that going to get you? I feel like, if you're winning fights ugly, it's like Chris Weidman. He won his last fight and he looked awful. So, I mean, to me, like, it's time for Chris Weidman to hang it up. How many of those ugly wins can you have until your career, people start realizing your career is done?
Yeah, and I actually was talking to Derek at practice this morning about Chase Hooper and about, these younger guys. I love the Contender Series. I love everything. I love the guys I love everything about the Contender Series. I got in the UFC off the Contender Series. But I'm telling you, they're signing these kids that just they're not ready. We are the highest level of the sport, bar none. We are the NFL for MMA, correct? These kids are getting in and they just don't have the experience. I told Minner, I was like, go after Hooper, go after I can't think of any other names off the top of my head. Go after these young guys that keep getting signed that don't know up from down, that are good at one thing. Chase is a jiu-jitsu guy in MMA. If he was a wrestler, it would be a little bit different because at least he would be able to control where the fight goes and not take so much damage. He literally has to use his face to get the opponent tired before he can submit them. I'm telling you right now, that's not going to last very long.
But as a fighter, if you're given the opportunity at 21, like, you're going to jump on that no matter what, right?
It really depends. It depends on who you trust. I was lucky in the sense that I have 3 very big role models in my life that have guided me through my career. My manager, Joe, and my coach, James Krauss, and then my other manager, Jason House. I trust them completely. I trust that they know what they're talking about. I trust that I'm still young in the sport and I'm not exactly sure, they know the end goal. I want to be world champion. Take it from here, guys. What's going to get me there safest? have brain cells when I'm, when I'm older and enough money in the bank to live off of what I need to live off of. And I was lucky in that aspect. And some of these kids don't have that, and they see that shiny thing in the corner and they want to jump on it. I'm not saying if you get a chance to get signed to the UFC at 21, I'm not saying don't take that chance. That's amazing. Good for you. But you also have to take a step back and look at your fighting style. If your fighting style is, I'm going to get punched in the face until you get tired, then I'm going to submit you. Dog, these guys in the UFC, one, they hit a lot harder. Two, they're not going to get tired. They're not going to get tired beating your ass. And that's just the facts.
Now, I'm curious because I'm not really too familiar. What is a developmental contract? Because we've seen that on Contender Series before. Like, what does that entail? Like, because are you still fighting fights in the UFC, or like, are you fighting for? Is there another promotion in their developmental contract? Like, what is that? Because I've seen it on the Contender Series, and that's almost something that maybe would have benefited Hooper. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm just curious as to what that is, if you know.
It's basically a fancy way of saying, hey, you didn't get in. From what I understand, like, you get a shot next season, or you're at the top of the list if they need a short notice. It doesn't matter. But one thing that I think they should do with the Contender Series is just make it its own show. The WWE owns a bunch of little pro wrestling shows that they have. I think the Contender Series should do that. It's doing so well right now. Just make it its own show. Give it belts, give it weight classes, give it, signed fighters. Then when you need fighters to fill in shows, boom, you have them right there. They're ready to go. They've been active year round. And you get all these views on Fight Pass or ESPN Plus or whatever the streaming service is. Make the Contender Series its own show. And the biggest thing that would help is you don't have to give them contracts. The UFC is filling up, and it's filling up fast. We're seeing guys off of one loss and gone because they're overbooked. And the reason why they're overbooked is because they keep signing guys that are coming off the Contender Series. You have one really cool performance, or you have one little gimmick, they're going to sign you. And so they're getting overbooked, and then these other guys are getting cut off of one loss against, these other guys that are really good.
I think that's a great idea, and I would love that. That just means more fights. That would be incredible.
Yeah, more fights. I'm ready for fights. They used to do Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday. Tuesday, Contender Series. Wednesday, The Ultimate Fighter, and then Saturday, the main MMA. Bring that back. That's what I want. Fights every Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday. This is all I do. I'm watching fights right now on my TV in my bedroom. That's all I want is more fights.
The Ultimate Fighter is actually making a comeback too. They haven't announced who the two guys, like the hosts, are going to be, but that's going to be electric when it comes back.
I'm actually interested to see how it does, because I feel like with the Contender Series, people are more interested in just fights at this point. Like with the Ultimate Fighter, each episode was build up, one fight, and then done. Whereas the Contender Series is a little short video of who this is and their dream, and they're all fighting for their kids for some reason. And then you get to watch 5 fights, of guys that really, really want it. I feel like that's why the Contender Series is doing so much better than the Ultimate Fighter. And I really can't see the Ultimate Fighter doing well after this season. Maybe I'm wrong, but I can't see it competing with the Contender Series, which really sucks, because one of my goals as a fighter is to be a coach on the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not, and I also feel like when there's a ton of guys on there, like, and it's the build up. I feel like they can just add so much garbage in there that I'd rather just see the fights. So I'm on the side of, I kind of lean towards Contender Series, just because it's almost like a mini UFC card for me. I can watch, an hour and a half worth of fights, not an hour's worth of guys bickering with one another, making weight, and then fighting one time, and then that's the end of the show. So that's my preference. But I did have a question. So you and Derek Minner, both younger guys, all right, and have a ton of fights. Is that a Nebraska thing? Like, you guys just love to fight, that at a young age you guys are just like, screw it, by the time I'm 30, I'm going to have like 30 fights to my name?
I mean, me and Derek, I would say so. Yeah, it's a Midwest thing. We call ourselves, and I wouldn't say me and Derek call ourselves this, but James calls the Midwest fighters the blue collar fighters. We wake up every day, we go to work every day, and we're trying to do this. I train twice a day, every single day except Sunday. Why wouldn't I want to fight? I want to take fights. Derek goes about it. He's got the mindset of anybody, anytime, anywhere, any weight, I'm going to fight. And I love that mindset. I have the same mindset. I was going to take a bunch of really stupid fights that were going to get me in trouble early on in my career. That's why I gave control to James, Joe, and Jason. And I said, yo, tell me who to fight. Tell me when to fight them. Don't even ask me. If you like it, just say yes. And I feel like Derek didn't have that early on. And he was just fight. And it still worked out for him. That dude's a savage. That dude, sharing the octagon with him. And then after that, sharing the practice room with him. I have so much respect for him, so much admiration for his game. He has got an incredible game. And I'm telling you, he's going to beat a lot of guys, like a lot of guys.
And just a follow up to that, I saw that. So you fought Minner fought Kroom. Like, do you guys like build off one another now that you're teammates, like those experiences, and just kind of like help each other grow? And now that you're all training together, like I feel like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, we prepared for Minner. I was Kroom's main training partner when he was set to fight Minner. And then when I got set to fight Minner, even though it was only, we only had 12 days notice, he was my main training partner to fight Minner. After we fought, Minner came to our gym to train with us, and I gotta tell you, man, he's got such a good game. Like just yesterday we were in jiu-jitsu practice, and I'm picking his brain about how he's doing this armbar technique. I'm recording stuff. I'm trying to figure stuff out. I'm helping him with his wrestling. Like we just grow and build off of each other, the three of us, and he's really great to have in the room.
And so just kind of going off of that, like Glory MMA is definitely kind of blown up in the last year or two. Like what's going on over at Glory MMA? Like where do you kind of see that success coming from? Is it like mainly like James Krauss being the coach, or is it just really like a great group of guys?
I feel like it's a combination of three things. One, and probably most importantly, is James. Having a leader like that, having a coach that teaches you every day, and not to mention the dude just is so smart with the game. When this whole pandemic hit, the first thing that he told all of us was, be ready. When fights come back, there's going to be a wave of needing fighters in the UFC, short notice replacements, stuff happening with this whole COVID stuff. And so that was a really big part of our gym success, is our guys were just staying ready. Kroom took a fight on 1 day's notice. Jason Witt took a fight on 2 days notice. It's just being this blue collar fighter that is always ready to go and ready for opportunity is what gets us there. And then the other thing is our management really knows how to grow fighters. I hate it when people talk about, padded records or stuff like that, because, if you're 10-0 or 10-1, no one cares who your first 5 fights were. I feel like that's the biggest misconception in MMA. And my biggest advice to a young fighter making his pro debut is take smart fights. Don't pretend like you've got a big dick. Don't go out there and try to fight, anybody with a name, because nobody gives a shit who your first 5 to 10 fights were. No one cares. If you're 10-0 against 10 turds, or you're 5-5 against 10 really tough guys, the 10-0 guy is going to get signed over the 5-5 guy.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Go ahead, Steve.
I was going to say, so what is going on with James Krauss? Like, why do I keep seeing his name pop up in the news about he's pissing off some fighter or his mentor? It was Diego Sanchez, I think, recently, but before is Joaquin Buckley. What's going on there?
Well, first off, James is like a honey badger. He don't give a fuck. He don't care if he hurts your feelings. He's not trying to settle it down for people. He's there to tell it like it is. If he means it, he'll say it. The whole Joaquin Buckley thing, man, I don't even want to get into that. That dude's a shitbox, and whatever. But Diego Sanchez, he has been trying to fight Diego for a long time, and it just kind of never happened. And then Diego out of the blue kind of messaged him saying that he didn't like what he was saying about his trainer or something like that, even though they're both a bunch of nutcases. And so he was like, look, I'll fight you. just tell them you want it. I've told them that we wanted it. You tell them you want it, and let's get this done. And I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's kind of looking like it's going to happen.
That would be electric. I love James Krauss. I've been a fan really kind of even before I started this podcast, because he just will fight anyone at any weight class and just doesn't care. And I love it. And the master of the short notice fight. Like, I feel like he's like the guy that if you need someone short notice, just call him and he'll do it. And I love that. So it seems at 26, like I see on your Instagram stories and stuff that you corner a lot of guys and you also teach a lot. It's almost like you have like a veteran instinct, or like people really trust you. And at 26, I can honestly tell you that I don't think anyone trusts me. So kind of what's that like?
Well, man, I mean, it's kind of hard to argue with my success. You know, I'm 16-1. I've only got 2 decisions in my career, and I'm 4-0 in the UFC. I've bonused, you know, I've beaten a lot of good guys, and I've made it look easy. The other thing is I'm a really good coach, and I'm not trying to say I'm, you know, on James's level or anything like that, but I'm a very, very good coach. And these younger guys, I really love helping guys that I see myself in. All you have to do to get on my good side is work hard and show up every day. That's it. If you do that, I'm gonna grab you. I'm gonna put you under my wing. I'm gonna show you everything that I know, no questions asked. You know, and I've built a relationship with a lot of these fighters, like really, really deep relationships with these other fighters, my teammates, my brothers. You know, just the other day, or it wasn't the other day, it was a couple months ago. One of my teammates, his name's Muhammad. He's 6-0 as an amateur. He got a fight on 1 day's notice in Iowa. So we got in the car, we drove up there to go fight. And I do it again. You know, I love that kid. He works his butt off every day, and he listens to everything we tell him. You know, if we told him to do a cartwheel and a backflip in the middle of the cage, he would do it. And those are the kind of guys that I'm willing to lose money on. I'm willing to drive 1,000 plus miles, sleep in crappy hotels, all that stuff for. You know, they put in the work. I see myself in them trying to make it. And you know, you just kind of build a bond when you fight somebody every day. You kind of just build this bond with them.
When the MMA career is over, is that something you're looking to do, is become a coach or maybe even own your own gym?
Not own my own gym. There's one flaw that I have when it comes to coaching, and that's I hate coaching normal people. I don't like coaching people that are trying to lose weight or just want to do it for fun. I'm here to coach athletes and winners. That's what I like to do. I hang around winners. And so when you're an owner of a gym, you got to be able to coach those kind of people, because they're the ones that pay the bills. And I don't want to do that. I got my own plans for after retirement, but owning a gym isn't one of them.
I see that. Is your girlfriend a fighter too?
Yeah, she's a professional fighter. She's undefeated, 1-0, which, you know, 1-0. She's great. She trains every day just like I do. She's awesome.
Well, I was gonna say, like, what's that relationship like? Like, because we've interviewed Miranda Maverick, who her boyfriend is not a fighter, but he is like the most jacked guy I've ever seen in my life. And I asked her about that, and then like, so what's your relationship like with, you know, you're a fighter, she's a fighter. Like, if you get into arguments, like, do those get like real testy? She's gonna like drop you down and like throw you in an armbar or something like that.
Well, first off, fuck Miranda Maverick, and second off,
whoa, what's that about? What's that about?
Oh, nothing. She's not my favorite person.
Wow.
But Elle, my actual favorite person, you know, she's 105 pounds. She fights at atom weight. So you know, if we get into a little argument, it never gets physical. And she's great because, you know, she understands cutting weight. She understands the grind, you know, like it's so amazing to have somebody that like gets what you're going through. When you're in the middle of a fight camp, you're hungry, you just got your ass beat for the 100th time this week, and it's only a Tuesday, and you come home and you just want to like lay your head on the couch and not talk to anybody. She gets it. She understands that. She understands, you know, it's so nice to have, you know, somebody in your life like that. I've dated other fighters before that weren't as committed, and oh, we should hang out more, and oh, let's miss practice tonight. She's not like that at all. And then I've dated girls that, you know, aren't fighters at all, and that's just the worst, you know. So I really got lucky, and it's really just great to have her in my life. Also, she's a nutritionist, so in fight camp, it's always nice to have that in your back pocket.
I need my wife to become a nutritionist because
Well,
God, I eat like dog shit.
That is not gonna happen.
I will say though,
I will tell you, it's pretty terrible when you're outside of fight camp. When you're not in fight camp, having a nutritionist as a significant other is not great.
I will say though, like I'm not a fighter, but I could only imagine like it's probably much easier to be a fighter and be with someone who is also a fighter, because just know, like all the guys we've talked to, like it sounds miserable when you're, you know, working and trying to, you know, cut weight and prepare for a fight. And I definitely would not want someone breathing down my neck, like to do shit when you're, you know, you're working.
Right. And one of the best parts about it too is what you're talking about, where when I'm in camp, she takes the workload, you know, this needs done, this needs done, this needs done. She does it. And when she's in camp, she still does. No, I'm sorry. Then it's my turn, and I do all those things for her. You know, like it's nice to have that type of understanding with each other, and it's also nice to date or to be with a 105-pound fighter, because you know they don't fight that much. There aren't very many of them out there, so it's usually me that's in camp.
So something that's kind of gone on that I noticed through your career is you've kind of moved between lightweight and featherweight. So how do you like decide which division you want to fight at? Like, do you just, is it make more sense to cut weight, or is it if you're more of a natural lightweight, do you just stay at that? Like, how do you make the decision there?
Man, for me personally, I am staying at lightweight. My next fight will be at lightweight. My next couple of fights will be at lightweight. And barring something goes terribly, terribly wrong, I can't see myself going down to 145 again until I want to become double champ. It's so hard to make that weight. I missed weight when I fought Derek Minner, and he was a G and took the fight still. And then in my last fight, they gave us a catch weight because we had to fly and all that, and it was still so hard to make that weight. It was really hard to make, you know, 150. And so that was really an eye opener for me, where it was like, I'm not a featherweight anymore, and if I am, I can only do it one or two more times. So I might as well just save myself the trouble and the embarrassment of missing again, and move up. You know, so we're moving up. We're gonna take this fight, and we're gonna get that belt at 155, and then we'll talk maybe about going back down to 45.
So I see on your Instagram story often that you like to go bowling. Are you an avid bowler, and what's the best score?
I am a terrible, terrible bowler. However, my teammates and I, we have a group, and we all like to hang out. There's 6 of us. We're all like, you know, really close. And so our kind of our thing to do is on Tuesday nights to go to main event, and we go bowling, laser tag, and play shuffleboard. And so it's kind of just a night for the guys, you know, midweek, getting that first hard practice out of the way, and then we like to go chill out for a bit.
Were you good at any other sports? Like I know a lot of times wrestlers and like fighters, they get a bad rap. Like, I mean, like a lot of them, if you dedicate your life to wrestling, like a lot of times you don't play any other sports. It's just dedicated to wrestling. So were you good at any other sports, or is like wrestling kind of, that's it? That's all you did?
Yeah, I suck at everything, man. It's wrestling and MMA. Combat sports is what I'm good at. I'm so bad at pretty much everything that isn't that, you know. I'm bad at bowling. I'm bad at shuffleboard. I'm bad at laser tag. But it's a lot of fun. I get to hang out with my guys, and yeah, so it is what it is.
This is kind of a random question. It's something I've kind of noticed from doing these interviews, but so in your Instagram bio, it lists that you love anime. Why does every UFC fighter love anime?
Because anime is awesome.
I don't know. I never really got like super into it, but I swear like every single UFC fighter loves anime. I just didn't know if there's like something about that.
I don't know. I wouldn't say every single UFC fighter likes anime, but a good majority of them do. I feel like it's a really nice, I don't want to say background. It's a pastime until the next practice. I don't know. And you like anime? Do you like Family Guy?
Yeah. Is that technically anime?
Okay, so you like cartoons. It's just an American anime. No, it's an American anime. It's a cartoon. Like, what's the difference? You know,
I don't
I
know.
really enjoy the anime. I really enjoy Family Guy cartoons. I'm with it. Honestly, I'm just a big kid. I literally get to play a game for a living. So the rest of my life is going to be, based around things that I enjoy. I enjoy cartoons. I enjoy, you know, geeky stuff, Star Wars, all
You
that
said you
kind
love
of
Star
nerdy
Wars,
stuff.
right?
I love Star Wars.
Are you like a
Absolutely.
first six, or are you like the new age? Like which one do you like better?
I'm a first six. The Mandalorian is what saved the Star Wars universe for me.
Oh,
The
dude.
last 3 movies were kind of terrible, and I shouldn't say they were terrible. They weren't very good. And the Mandalorian really saved the universe for me, and so I'm so happy it's in there. I really like the original. I'm sorry, not the original 3, the prequels with the Jedi and the Clone Wars. I really like the Clone Wars. That's my favorite. But I really enjoy the whole 6 as it goes.
I think the Mandalorian's overrated.
You think so?
Yep.
Can I tell you real quick that you're absolutely wrong?
No, dude. Well, okay. Let me just say, I haven't watched season 2 yet. I just finished season 1, and it just didn't do anything for me.
Yeah. Well,
I might be ashamed to say this, but everyone says I was deprived as a kid because I've never watched Star Wars. I've never watched anime. I never watched any of those things. Like I grew up on like Rudy and Major League. Like my dad was a huge sports fanatic. I never grew up on that type of stuff. Like I don't know that my dad's ever seen Star Wars. So like I've never watched any of those things. So like people that I work with, he's my best friend. He loves that stuff. I've never seen it a day in my life.
Well, we can bring your issue to you just have bad parents, and
fair enough.
I don't know what to do with this other guy over here, but it is what it is. I'll pray for you guys later.
That's fair.
I appreciate that. That makes me feel like we're friends then. If you're gonna say a prayer for me, at least.
Yeah, I'll fit you in there.
Oh, that's very nice.
The anime gods.
All right, so we don't want to keep you too long, so we have three, but really just 2 segments for you, and then we can let you go. They're typically pretty quick. So the first one is called Significant Strikes. So our wives, or I'm married, he's married, Steve is getting married, so we normally like to feature our wives in some way, so they let us do this. So we have them formulate a question for you. They don't know who you are. They don't do any research. They just ask a random ass question. And you have to answer all 3 and then pick which one you like the best. And then we keep tabs. I won in 2020, so I'm defending the belt here in 2021.
Let's go. And I don't know which one of them did the questions.
No, I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay, cool.
All right. So Carrie's going to run a little. All righty. So the first question, if you could transform into any superhero at any given time, who would you choose and why?
Are we talking like major superheroes or just any superhero in existence?
I'd say
anything.
Probably anything.
Oh, man. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'd probably say Captain America. He's he's one of my favorite he's basically Batman with superpowers. He's got your strength and he's just good at everything. I like that he's just good at everything that he touches. I'd probably say Captain America.
All right. I think I would go Deadpool. I think it's awesome that he can just chop his hand off and then grow it back.
My only issue with Deadpool is Captain America is still good looking. Deadpool's a fugly.
Oh, he's atrocious looking.
I feel like his personality is kind of like mine, so I feel like I'm semi similar to him as far as personality goes.
I also feel like with Deadpool, he's got the type of powers that like everyday life. Like if you're Deadpool, you have to be a superhero because all he really is invincible. He just can't die. Like with Captain America, you got super strength, speed. You can do these kind of things throughout everyday life. You don't have to be a superhero.
Although, imagine if you were in the middle of a fight and you were like about to get choked out, but you just like turned into the Hulk and you just started smashing everyone. That'd be
Well,
pretty
you would
cool.
get disqualified. So
Pretty sure at that point that's a
I guess
PED.
so.
yeah, if I'm Captain America, I can just pull his arms off of me with my super strength, and I could just be like, I'm really good at fighting, guys.
True.
All right, question 2. What is the most useless word in the world?
Oh my god. The most useless word. Moist.
Yes.
I think a lot of females would appreciate that you said that word should get axed.
Because nobody says it. Even when something's moist, they don't say it because it's damp. Because they don't want to be the guy that said moist.
I feel like when someone like describes how a cake is moist.
Yeah.
You're a fighter. You don't eat cake, so I understand.
That's bullshit. I eat extra cake.
All right, last question. What's the worst smell you faced when fighting an opponent? I feel like it can't smell good regardless in there. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever smell I'm more worried about them punching me in the face.
You never had a moment where you're just like someone was laying on top of you and you're like, this smells terrible.
Well, first off, I don't get taken down, but
oh, Steve, come on, dude. We want him to come back on the show.
I should know that.
No, I can't. I guess it wasn't bad. The only time that I've ever registered a smell in a fight would be I fought this kid named Christian Camp, and there was a lot of blood. It's the bloodiest fight I've ever been in, and I just remember I was slipping everywhere because his blood was all over the place.
Oh.
And I just remember I'm in his guard and I'm dropping these elbows and blood's just going everywhere, and I remember being like, I can distinctly smell blood. Like, this is what
Like
blood smells like. Yeah. And I wouldn't say that it smelled bad, but it just, I've never because I'm sweaty too. And I spend every waking minute of my day in a gym. So, I'm pretty desensitized to smell when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I would say blood was the thing that I smelled, that I registered.
I think it was Scott Holtzman who was telling us that he just straight up shit himself in the middle of a fight one time, which is hilarious.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he said that.
That's the worst.
I think he said he was trying to escape a choke or something like that, and it just
shit himself.
Shit happens, man.
Yeah, seriously.
That's exactly right.
I did want to ask though, so before you go into a fight, obviously they have to check your fingernails, they check all that stuff. Are you allowed to rock deodorant, or is that not allowed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't say people do it. It's really the last thing on my mind is, man, that guy smells bad.
Well, you could tell we're not fighters because I feel like that is the first thing I'm slapping on before I go out there. It's some deodorant.
Sweat too much.
I go a little right guard action, so it's the dry stuff. But yeah, no.
Have you seen those commercials for the deodorant where the gym teacher is like, "We're not moving on until this guy sweats"? That's such.
I haven't seen it,
man.
But that's funny because
gym class.
I am a gym teacher.
Class. Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a gym class, and the dude, everybody's soaked in sweat, and the dude's not sweating at all because he's got this spray on deodorant. And I'm just like, man, that commercial is for people that don't actually work out.
And that's how you know people don't know anything about deodorant, because spray deodorant doesn't work. You need to use antiperspirant.
That's what, and even that's hard. That's hard on some people.
Yeah, people don't understand how to smell good. All right, so those were the 3 questions. You had the superhero, you had the useless word, and you had the worst smell when you've been fighting. You can choose which one you thought was the best.
I'm gonna go with useless word.
Let's go. That's me again, baby. My wife's been on a roll. I don't know what it is. My wife is very good at asking the best shitty question ever, and she's just very good at it.
What was the last question that won?
Oh God, I don't. It's been a while since we've done an interview because of the holidays and stuff, so I don't remember. We've had some good ones. I can't remember.
Was it this? If you are you weak or strong? If you hit yourself or
Oh
something?
yeah, I think the last one was with Jay Perrin, and he's a friend of our show, and he asked my wife asked if you hit yourself, are you strong or are you weak?
If you hit yourself, are you strong or are you weak?
Yeah.
Personally, I think you're stupid.
Well,
idiot.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Like, he thought it was great, and I kind of like, I get the question, like, do you think you're strong or do you think you're weak? But like, I don't know. Like, you can look at a bunch of different ways. Like, are you mentally strong or are you mentally weak? Because I feel like you might be mentally weak if you're punching yourself in the head. So I don't know.
That's fair.
All right. So Steve just has rapid fire, and then we just let you have the floor, and you can plug any sponsors or anything you want. So Steve, take away rapid fire.
All right, so rapid fire, I'm going to give you two options. You tell me which one you prefer, and there's also a few questions in there as well. So crowd or no crowd?
Crowd.
Apex or Fight Island?
Fight Island.
Hometown, fight night, main event, or main card on a pay-per-view?
Main card pay-per-view.
First round finish or getting a decision win in a back-and-forth war?
Are you crazy? That's first round finish.
What would drive you crazier, a bad stoppage or a bad judge?
Bad judge.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
Screw Chris Lee. They need to get him out of there. He is awful.
Yeah,
100%.
There's a lot of them. And I think I have a way to fix judging, but they don't ask me, so.
We could ask you that. How do you fix that?
I wouldn't say you could fix it like permanently, but two ways to make it better is 5 judges instead of 3, and then open scoring. And the reason, if you can convince 3 out of 5 judges that you won the fight, then it's pretty obvious that you won the fight. And the other thing is, did you guys see the whole thing when James fought? I'm blanking on his name. When he went up to 85 and
the Brazilian guy.
No. It was the black kid. Travin Giles.
Okay, yeah.
So he fought that guy, won the first round. He had the dude's back for 4 minutes and 30 seconds. There's no way you lose a round if you have a dude's back for 4 minutes and 30 seconds. One judge gave Travis or whatever his name is, the first round. That judge was his teammate.
Oh, yeah. How does that work?
That would literally be me judging James's fight. And 100%, if I was judging James's fight, there's no way he's losing a round. Not a second of a round. I don't care if he gets his nose split open, his face beat in. I'm going to say he won the round. I don't care. That's why I'm not a judge. But my theory on it is, if there was open scoring where the whole crowd and everybody at home knows who wins that round, he wouldn't have given that round to his training partner, because he would have said everybody is going to see somebody give that round not to James, and they're going to immediately call bullshit. So he would have been more honest about it and given James the round. James would have won the fight.
We did a post today about open scoring because Dana White came out and was just like very against it. And it seems like a lot of the people didn't like it either. But I like where you're coming from.
Why? My only question is why? What does it change?
Honestly, it's from a business perspective of just like, if you know, like he was saying, like there's not going to be any suspense going into the final round. So it makes for a worse product because if you know you're winning, you'll just stay away and it won't be eventful.
But if you know you're losing, you're going to fight your ass off to get the finish. Not to mention, not all, but a good majority of fights, you know who's winning.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
I think it's
the only thing that it's going to change is if you think you're winning and you're not, you're going to go out there and you're going to fight your ass off to get the win, you know? Or in a super close fight, when it's really, really close, You're going to know who's winning. And so you're going to go into this third round not just assuming, oh, I'm winning or, oh, I'm losing. You're going to know. And so then you're going to go for it. It's really hard to stall. Look at Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva, their first fight. He's up very clearly 4-0. It's so hard to stall in an MMA fight unless you're, you get the takedown and you're laying on them. But if you're going to do that, you're going to do it anyway.
Yeah. Sorry, you can go.
I was just going to say, like, if you're going to stall for like the last round after a 4-round fight, like, you have to have one, ridiculous cardio anyway to be escaping the whole entire time. And two, you have to just be crazy elusive. Like, I feel like you'd have to almost be like Wonder Boy type elusive and just be able to scoot around the octagon for 5 minutes, which is not easy to do after you just went 4 hard rounds. So
those guys fight like that anyway. It's not going to, Wonder Boy's going to fight like Wonder Boy, whether he's winning or losing.
100%. And I feel like I understand what Dana White said, but I feel like there's more positives to open scoring than any negative. And at this point, the scoring has just been awful. Like, it's been so bad, especially the last couple months here before the new year. It was terrible. There was a couple, I mean, like the Paul Felder fight, like he clearly lost, I think, every round, maybe except for one. And the fact that Chris Lee had that fight going for Paul Felder is like, how is that fight a split decision? Like, Paul Felder himself scored 5 rounds to none for RDA winning. Like,
isn't Chris Lee a boxing judge?
Yeah. That's what we talked about it before. He doesn't know anything about wrestling.
Well, it's not about knowing, or it's about biasism. I'm a wrestler. If I'm a judge, I'm automatically going to score the guy who's doing more wrestling. That's going to look better to me. And it's not about knowing, or I fully believe Chris Lee, or whatever his name is, knows what he's doing. He just prefers boxing over wrestling so that he likes it better. It's the same thing in real boxing. Real boxing is so corrupt and so, look at the Triple G versus Canelo, their first fight. There's no way Canelo won that fight, and they made it a draw. It didn't matter. As long as there was no finish, that fight was going to be a draw no matter what happened, because they wanted to see another one. And to have those same judges judge our sport, it's crazy and ridiculous. It's literally having college or having high school referees ref a NFL game. Like, it's amateurish. We need our own refs, and we also need to be sanctioned under one sanctioning body. The rules are different every state that you go to, or every country you go to. They have different rules, different sanctioning bodies, and that's ridiculous. No other sport in the world does it like that.
100%. They need to let me be a judge. I'll get that shit right every time, guaranteed. I know what I'm looking for. As long as you're scoring it
for me, I'm cool with that.
All right. Only if you promise to come back on the show again, then you'll get my vote every time.
This is the most fun I've had in an interview probably ever. I love it. You guys let me know when you want me. I'm back on. This was so much fun.
The awesome. MMA Glory Boy, like, that's our crew right now. We love you guys.
Yeah.
I have just a few more questions after that.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that was good talk. I like that. If a restaurant had a Grant Dawson special, what would it be?
Oh, geez. Probably a triple cheeseburger with extra bacon.
Yes.
Hold the lettuce.
Hold the lettuce. Seeded bun or no seeded bun?
No seeded. No seeded.
Yeah, that shit gets stuck in your teeth and it's annoying.
Yeah, it's just weird. It has a weird taste to it too.
Outside of MMA, what's your dream job?
Like anything?
Yep, anything.
Anything. Well, my plan after MMA is to get into acting. So I would say movie star. That's some of my goals. So
what are like an action films or any acting?
Like the Kingdom reboot.
Yeah, there we go. Actually, my goals acting wise is to be in at least one giant movie, like one blockbuster sell 'em out movie. Just anything. I could be the guy in the background. I don't care. And then my other goal is to actually have my own TV show. So that's something I'm working on.
You should start vlogging. I feel like that's how it starts. Do YouTube vlogs.
MMA Glory reality show. Do it.
That would be great. That would be awesome.
Go. Hey, I'm down, man. I'm down. I've been trying to get my own YouTube channel started. It's just so hard because I don't know like the filming and editing stuff like that. I don't have time to do it, and to like hire somebody to do it costs an arm and a leg. And I've tried, and then the guys that I can get to do it for cheap, they take forever to do it. So I'm still working out that, but I actually do want to launch my own UFC embedded. Have you guys watched that? I want to do that for my fight camps. And we call it a KGD TV. And so, yeah, I just need to find the right camera crew that can get it done in a timely manner, but we'll get it figured out.
All right, we're going to finish up quick here. Max Holloway, Calvin Kattar.
Calvin Kattar.
Conor McGregor or Dustin Poirier?
Conor McGregor.
Let's go. Describe your fighting style using one word.
Win.
Let's go. That's rapid fire for you.
If you start to like us a lot, is there any chance I could pick your walkout song?
Nah, I got my walkout song picked. Sorry, dog.
What is it?
That's all right.
It's a song called Hellfire by Jonathan Young. And I really like it for two reasons. One reason, it's super unique and nobody's ever gonna walk out to it but me. And unless now they see this and they're trying to be an asshole. And then it's basically about a priest who loses his faith with God because he falls in love with a woman. It's very unique.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. Nothing. I'll
Sounds
accept
very
the loss.
disappointing.
It's okay. It's okay. All right. So anyway, we always wrap up our interviews with we allow you to have the floor. You're allowed to plug any sponsors, shout outs to anyone, anything that you want to say. The floor is yours. You can take it away. Man,
everybody turns it off at this point because they don't care about who my sponsors are. But I just want to give a big shout out to my coaches and my teammates. They're always supporting me. They're always helping me train. And this fight we got coming up, I'm just so excited for this journey that I have with them. And then lastly, I just got to give a huge shout out to the sidewalk for keeping me off the streets.
I like that.
That's a solid. You should make that a t-shirt.
There we go.
All right, Carrie, take us out.
All right, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Coffee N KOs crew has called an end to this interview, declaring the winner by knockout, Grant Dawson.
Hey, special thanks to Grant. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Guys, if you enjoyed this, we are Coffee N KOs presented by fightbananas.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Coffee N KOs 1. And next time, we'll see you outside the octagon.